Okay, first of all, you can connect, and cross a finger if it works, with this link or use the QR code. Because today I want to propose you an interactive talk to summarize some of the most interesting features added in the latest Angular versions. And probably I want also to verify if you understood something from the previous talk, since we will talk about signal and some interesting feature. Okay, you have still time to connect just using this QR code. Okay, so let me go in the next slide. Okay. I'm Fabio Biondi. I'm a front-end trainer. I work especially in Angular and React ecosystem. I'm a Google developer expert in Angular and Microsoft MVP in developer technology. You can find me in several conferences. I'm a content creator on YouTube, Twitch, video courses, and so on. I'm also a contributor on Quick UI, that is the new framework of the father of Angular, Misko Every. And I also not a moment. It's not the right moment to smile. The problem is the San Marco connection. Just a second. Just a second. It's very slow. Okay. I hope the problem is the San Marco connection. But it's not. But why? No. This is the second fail of the month. The first one was in the React day, but let me check if the problem is still the server. Yes, always the server. Amen. Okay, plan B. I have to fire the backender. Okay, the plan B. Thanks. Okay. Let me talk about some new interesting feature of Angular 17. Okay, just a second. Okay, so I have no notes anymore. Great. Okay, as you may know, we can create standalone project by using GNU, my app, and the flag standalone /standalone. And with S and T, we can set inline template inline style. Now we can bootstrap our application instead of using module, using directly a component, in this case app component, and we can also define a configuration. We can also define a configuration by using the second parameter app config that allow you to define providers, just like, for example, the provide router, and define all the route. Now we can also define, in this case, the routes of our application by simply using load components instead of load modules, as in the past. And the nice feature is that now you don't need anymore to use the callback then and decide what component loaded from the file, but you can just specify the import, the path, but you have to set the default, you have to export as default your component. In this case, you don't need that then anymore, so it's very quick to write. So standalone project, standalone component is simply a component where you can use the standalone flag, and when you need to use the standalone component, you just need to import the component in the imports parameter in the decorator component. And we talked about it and probably you already know this because Daniela and Aris talked about this stuff. Okay, but we have also a lot of new input properties, the input properties, just like this one. Let me show you. Now, when you define component, you can, just to be clear, this was a question in the quiz. Which one of these is a valid new input decorator? So I have to change all my talk in this way. I'm sorry if it's not perfect, but anyway, I hope to share with you some new interesting feature of Angular 17. Anyway, the first one is required. Now, if you set input property as required, and you forget to define it in the app widget, in this case, you will receive a compiling error. And this is great, because so far it was not possible. You can define an alias property. For example, you can expose content by using the template in the class, just like body. Another interesting feature is transform Boolean attribute that allow you to define the disable, for example, an attribute of a component. You can avoid to use true and if it's defined a Boolean attribute. This is, in other words, you don't need to specify disable equal to true, just like in the past, but you can use it just like in React when you use JSX, just defining disable. And the same for Zoom 7. Now, using number attribute, you don't need anymore the square brackets. And I think that you often forget, just like me, to set this bracket. In fact, if you don't use the brackets, the value is treated as a string, while in this case, it's always treated as a number. And the last one allow you to avoid to use setter and getter. For example, in this case, you can define an input, get the value, and transform the value automatically in the transform function. I think they are all very, very useful. Anyway, now I want to show you another interesting approach to, just a second, to get the parameter of a route. For example, title. So far, we could use, for example, the activated route service, so we can inject it, get the snapshot parameter, and get the title the snapshot object, and get the title parameter from that object. And saving this value on the title property allow us to use it in the template on the component class. Or we can use a reactive approach using injecting activated route, getting the params observable, and by using pipe and the map operator, get the title. In this case, we can use the async pipe in the template and just subscribe it. But now we can also define in the provider router a new option called with component input binding, and we can simply use an input decorator in the component that in the routed component. That component that is defined as routed. So we just need an input. Very, very easy. Another interesting improvement, because this feature already exists in the past, is ng component outlet that allow you to dynamically create instance of the component. In this case, ng component outlet accept my template. This is a simple panel component and some input that you can pass to this component and dynamically load it. For example, I want to show you, just a second. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Just an example on StackBlitz, where I can show you how it works in just a second. We have 3 buttons, load 1, 2, and 3, and we just create a configuration object with widget 1, some inputs, widget 2 with other inputs, and widget 3. These are simple components that I have defined here. Widget 1, just a component with input color, or another one, data that is a string, array of string, and an object, any. Okay, there is somebody in this room that has never used any in its project. Yes, you are a liar. Okay. Anyway, so what I did, sorry, in the main TS, okay, in the main component, I just create a component uploader that accepts a configuration, so this object, component, and input, and this app component, this uploader, sorry, is just a component when I use ng template outlet config.component and input. So this is a simple loader that automatically, when receive a config, an object, a configuration, load automatically component. It's very, very easy to use. It's very similar to the API view container ref with the option create component, but you can do this by using the template in a very simple way. Okay. It was already available in a previous Angular version, but now has been improved. It's been improved and simplified. Another interesting feature that is available from Angular 15 is the composition API. Imagine that we have an app widget component that has a simple template with an input title and a projection with ng content. I always forget that I have the arrows. Okay. And we also have a directive stop propagation to, of course, stop the propagation of the event. So we use host listener, we listen for the click, and when the user click on the button, this propagation is stopped. Okay, we want to use this stop propagation in our component. What we can do is just define the host directives property in the decorator, and now this component, the widget component, automatically will apply the stop propagation directive. So everything you put inside this component, I mean by ng content, for example, I define an app widget with some button, automatically will stop the propagation of the event. So this is a great way to encapsulate behavior in the directive and use it in a component or other directive. We can do more. We can also define a configuration for this composition. For example, here below the stop propagation, I use the directive no events directive. The simply stop is just a pointer events none to the widget itself, but I want to configure it. For example, the app widget could be disable or enable. So here we define the directive is no events directive and the input disable event. The directive is just another directive that set the style pointer events to none or auto in according with the disable events property. Okay, and now, for example, we can use it. Oops, we can use it in this way. In this case, app widget is always apply the stop propagation directive, while the disable event is configurable from a boolean that set if it's enabled or not. It's very, very useful, this composition API, if you use and write a lot of directives. Okay, I have the demo, but there is no time. So, reactivity, Angular and RxJS. When we need to unsubscribe an observable in RxJS, we usually can save a reference to the subscription, just like I did here, and unsubscribe on ng on destroy. Another way to unsubscribe an observable in RxJS is just using the async pipe. I really suggest to use the async pipe when possible because it automatically destroys when the component is destroyed. And another way is just using this pattern, the subject, and we create the subject. When subscribe the observable, use the take until to automatically destroy the observable when the subject emit a next, in this case in the ng on destroy. And anyway, Michele already spoiled this, but we have also a new take until destroy that behind the scene does the same stuff of the script on the left. So we just need to import, and automatically the timer is destroyed when the component is destroyed too. Okay, let me talk about Angular as signal. You already have seen a lot of stuff about this. So I just want to show you one example here. Okay, some ways to update the signal. We can use set, but we have to remember that the signal is an object with, for example, language or the currency of theme, and we want to just update the theme. We have to create an object merging the previous all the values inside the signal and changing the variable. It was very cool, the mutate, where we could just change the value or any property. In this case, this is an error in the slide, the theme or the currency or what you prefer, but has been deprecated in Angular 17, was available just in the 16, and we can use the update that where we can define a simple function that receive the current signal, and we can update what we need. Anyway, you're already seeing some stuff, so we cannot avoid to waste time about this. We can create derived state, just like the computed, and we can use it here. Or we can use effect to, for example, run some side effect, saves on local storage, make an HTTP call, and so on, when the dependency or the effect change. For dependency, I mean the signal that we have used inside it. Anyway, I want to show you some example with RxJS and signal. In this case, we just seeing a demo with an input when the when a user types something inside the input field, we want to wait that it complete typing and run a server-side call to get the temperature. Okay, here I want to show you an example of two signals that allow you to do this. We can have an input value change that we all know that is an observable. Here we can use, for example, a filter to emit a value when the user types at least 3 characters. We can have the bounce, we can use flattening operator, merge map, switch map, and so on, make our server-side call, and here with two signals, we update the value of the meteor signal every time the observable emit a value. And here we can use the signal just to show the meteor. This is an approach that uses two signals. I want to show you another approach that is the opposite by using the two observable. In this case, okay, I should update this slide. We can also use ng model. For example, putting in binding ng model with city, in this case, value with city, that is a signal. When the input change, here we can also use ng model change and update it when the ng model updates is the same. So a value when the input, when the user types something in the input, we can just update the value. In fact, on chain text, just update the signal. And in this case, we have a signal that emits some values and we convert to observable. In this case, meteor is an observable. Here we can use the pipe sequence that we prefer. And in this case, meteor is now an observable. Why and when this is useful? When you think that you can get advantage of RxJS, because the framework is still based on RxJS, router, inputs, a lot of events, the output of the component are all observables. So if you think that you can get advantage of RxJS, you can now mix signal and Rx in this way. Okay, okay, and I want to show you the new control flow syntax now. I don't know if the speaker talked about this today. Okay, now there is no anymore ngIf, ngFor, ngSwitch. There are still for a lot of time. Directive will not die soon, but now we have control syntax built in the framework. We can finally use if, else, if, avoiding to using ng template or the, template reference and other tricks. We can use a switch case in this way, switch case and so on. And we can also use for that now required to use the track, but anyway, the nice part is that rather than for, we can also use other type of blocks, just like empty, that, for example, render the empty message when when names, that is a signal, is empty. And now I want to show you another interesting part, that is defer. Defer allows you to avoid that my component is part of the bundle, of the main bundle, and create a separated chunk, okay? Just like, for example, Astro and the Island, or just like Quick framework that allow you to separate in several chunks your application. So my component, my compo, is not part of the main bundle, as it will be only loaded when the isVisible properties is true. We also have on interaction. In this case, the placeholder is shown. When I click in the placeholder, my compo is loaded with a separated chunk. We also have on timer, for example, after 1 second, 2 seconds that the page is loaded, my component is loaded, or on viewport, that is very cool because the component is not hydrated, is not loaded until it's visible on viewport. Okay. Other interesting part is okay, I can also show you a video. Here you can see that my compo is a list that render 30,000 elements. In this case, what happened? The placeholder load is shown. On interaction means when I click on load, create an instance of the component. As you can see here, there is a chunk. Okay, this is loaded when I click on the button. In the meanwhile, the loading is shown because this component needs some time to render 30,000 elements. And when it completes, we just see the list of elements. If there are some errors, for example, something, a wrong chunk in cache, or if for some reason the internet connection works, or if your quiz application doesn't work, you can have a failed here. Okay, that's all. It was this was the slide that I used to create the quiz that doesn't work, so I just invented this talk in a few minutes. I'm so sorry, and probably we have to find a new backender, or recreate the backend from another.
You have many Java backenders here, if you want.
I know.
And
okay.
a few Python backenders here.
Another Python. I think that we have used Go because everybody say Go is very fast. No. Yeah. No. Thank you very much,
but
guys.
Thank you, Fabio. I think you are the bravest. I think you are really brave in trying every time. You fail one time, but you try another time.
Yes, but last week you were in the other conference. It worked, but probably this
I didn't see.
Anyway, this is the last time I tried this quiz. I promise.
This is mine, by the way.
Okay. Anyway.
Don't steal my work.
No. Ok, te lo dico in italiano, ripeti tu in inglese. Sì. Dopo facciamo dei quiz fuori, se volete. Ci riprovo, non mollo, quindi se volete vincere, if you want to win something, 1 second.
1 second.
No, niente.
Niente.
I can do this.
No.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, you have 30 seconds.
Fallita anche oggi. Ok.
Claudio.
I have to give...
How many Claudios do we have today?
Claudio? Who is Claudio? Sicuro?
The only Claudio in the room? Other Claudios?
There are no more Claudio? Okay. We have to thank Pact Publishing...
You have to take me.
Okay, go away. We have to thank Pact Publishing to support us, and you can choose one of this book.
Okay.
Which one?
This one.
Okay. This one is the book, and you can also have the autograph, the mark. the autographo, because the author is here, Aris, and this is a book for beginner. Probably you don't need it, but you can give it to your girlfriend, boyfriend, or your mother, and probably will be happy. And you can choose. No, okay.
You have 10 minutes.
How many minutes?
10.
I have also 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. You are welcome. And another book for
Angular projects.
Angular project. This is very interesting. I was a reviewer in the previous version.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can autograph it.
Yeah. No, because he didn't call me anymore to do the next the review. And you are right. And okay, you are welcome. And here you can find several real projects, right? That use a lot of technologies like 3D maps, NX, NGRX, and a lot of other stuff. It's very, very interesting.
You want to ask a bonus question?
A bonus question? You can.
Do you have another gift?
Yes. I have full of gifts. You
are full of gifts. Okay. So ask a bonus question. No, you want to use your tool. Okay, use your round. We
should try. I have 10 minutes. We should try.
Yeah.
There is 80 people, eh? There is 80 people. The same question. Okay.
I was on this same stage the last time he failed with this talk, so.
I can try.
So maybe it's me. I don't know.
Just a second. I have a question because this you already know the answer of this. Okay, probably this is not the best question today to do it today. Just a second. Just a second.
Can I tell you a joke? I don't know. Should I tell a joke?
Oh, this is a bonus question. Replace. Andiamo a... Basta. Ok, inventa qualcos'altro. Hai più tempo.
Fabio. Fabio, you have your entire home office here. So. Don't forget to pick your office.
I promise this is the last time I do quizzes and real-time stuff.
I know that's a lie. I know that's a lie. You will try again.
Probably you are right.
But why don't you do it locally with the web server on your machine?
With this Wi-Fi?
Okay, yeah, true.
Okay.
With Bluetooth, I don't know.
Possible. For the first time, thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabio.
Later.